Hello friends, it's me again, Joseph, your host, and welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids. Today we're diving into the incredible life of a saint who was a master craftsman, a king's best friend, a miracle worker, and a fearless bishop. Get ready to learn about the amazing Saint Eligius, whose feast day is on December 1st. Saint Eligius, sometimes called Saint Eloy, was born long ago, around the year 588 in a part of France called Aquitaine. From a young age, it was clear that Eligius had a special gift. His hands were incredibly skilled. Recognizing this talent, his father sent him to be an apprentice to a goldsmith, a person who makes beautiful things out of gold and other precious metals. Eligius was a natural. He learned quickly, and his work was not only beautiful, but also perfect. He became known far and wide for his amazing craftsmanship, his reputation for skill, and even more importantly, for his honesty, reached the ears of the King of France, a man named Clotaire II. The king decided to test this young goldsmith, gave Eligius a large amount of gold and precious stones, and commanded him to build a magnificent royal throne. So Eligius got to work. When he was finished, he returned to the king not with one throne, but with two. He had used the exact amount of gold given to him, without any waste or trickery, to create two stunning thrones. The king was amazed. In a time when it was easy for craftsmen to secretly keep a little gold for themselves, Eligius proved he was completely trustworthy. This act of honesty earned him the king's deepest respect and friendship. From that day on, King Clotaire II knew he had found someone special. He appointed Eligius as the master of the mint, which meant he was in charge of making all the kingdom's coins. He also made him a trusted royal counselor. When King Clotaire's son, Dagobert I, became king, he made Eligius his chief advisor and his closest friend. The two were almost inseparable. King Dagobert valued Eligius's wisdom so much that he would often seek his private advice before meeting with any other dukes or bishops. Now you might think that being a rich and famous goldsmith and the king's best friend would make someone proud or selfish, but not Eligius. He used his powerful position for good. He saw his influence as a gift from God, a tool to help others. One of his greatest passions was charity. In those days, many people were captured and sold as slaves. Eligius used his own money and the king's resources to ransom them, buying their freedom. He freed people from all over: Romans, Gauls, and even Saxons who arrived at the slave markets. He didn't care where they came from. He just wanted to help them. His kindness didn't stop there. He would also walk through towns and villages to find the bodies of executed criminals who had been left behind. He believed everyone deserved a proper burial, so he would take them down and ensure they were laid to rest with dignity. Eligius was also a peacemaker. He once helped King Dagobert make a peace treaty with a neighboring Breton king, using his wisdom and gentle nature to avoid a war. Throughout his time in the royal court, Eligius lived a very humble life. His friend and biographer, Saint Eloy, described him as initially wearing fine clothes decorated with gold and jewels. He secretly wore a rough hair shirt underneath to remind himself to stay humble. As he grew in his faith, he gave away all his fancy ornaments to the poor and started wearing simple clothes with a rope for a belt. He was known for his quiet prayers and for often weeping out of love for God and compassion for others. After King Dagobert passed away, Eligius felt a new calling. His heart was pulling him even closer to God's service. Around the year 640, he was ordained as a priest. He immediately began to speak out against a practice called simony, which was the buying and selling of positions in the church. Eligius believed that being a bishop or priest was a holy calling, not a job you could buy. His passionate campaign was successful, and the practice was banned. Just 2 years later, in 642, the Bishop of Noyon-Tournai passed away, and the people and clergy unanimously chose Eligius to be their new bishop. He was hesitant at first, feeling unworthy, but he accepted the role. His new diocese was a challenging one. Many of the people in the surrounding areas, like Flanders, were still pagans and had not yet heard the story of Jesus. Bishop Eligius took on this challenge with great energy. He became a tireless missionary, traveling to remote villages and coastal towns, preaching the gospel with kindness and courage. He converted thousands of people to Christianity, not by force, but through love and good example. As a bishop, he never forgot his roots as a builder. He founded many monasteries and convents, including a large one at Solignac and a convent for women in Paris. He also built beautiful, new churches, and restored old ones that had fallen into disrepair. Of course, using his old goldsmithing skills, he created magnificent reliquaries, special containers to hold the relics of other saints, like Saint Martin of Tours and Saint Denis. He wanted to make sure these holy figures were honored in a beautiful way. Now, a saint as famous as Eligius is bound to have some amazing legends told about him, and he has one of the most famous ones of all. The story is called the miraculous farrier. A farrier is someone who puts horseshoes on horses. The legend says there was a horse that was behaving wildly, perhaps even possessed by a demon, and it wouldn't let anyone put a shoe on its hoof. It was kicking and fighting, making it impossible. Saint Eligius, seeing the problem, did something completely unexpected. He calmly walked over, gently cut off the horse's foreleg, and placed it on his anvil. With the leg separated from the thrashing horse, he was able to icily nail the shoe onto the hoof. Then he picked up the leg, miraculously reattached it to the horse. The horse was perfectly fine, standing calmly with its new shoe. This incredible story is why Saint Eligius became the patron saint of horses, farriers, veterinarians, and anyone who works with them. In art, you can often recognize Saint Eligius because he is shown as a bishop holding a goldsmith's hammer or an anvil. Sometimes he's even holding a tiny church or that famous horse's hoof. These symbols represent his different roles: the craftsman, the bishop, and the miracle worker. Because of his diverse life, Saint Eligius is the patron saint of many different people. He's the patron of goldsmiths, blacksmiths, and all metalworkers. He's the patron of coin collectors, since he was master of the mint. He's the patron of horses and farriers because of the legend. And he's even the patron saint of mechanics and the Royal Electrical and Mechanical. Engineers in the British and Australian armies because they fix and build things just like he did. Saint Eligius passed away on December 1st, around the year 660. He left behind a legacy of honesty, charity, and incredible faith. So what can we learn from this amazing saint? Saint Eligius teaches us that our talents, whether it's being good at art, sports, science, or just being a good friend, are gifts from God. And when we use these talents with honesty and kindness to serve others, God can work through us to do incredible things. You don't have to be a king's advisor or a famous bishop to make a difference. You just have to use the gifts you've been given with a loving and generous heart. Thank you for joining us to learn about the incredible life of Saint Eligius. He shows us that a life of skill, service, and faith can truly change the world. Don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to our channel for more stories about the saints. Take care, everyone. Stay safe and healthy as usual. We'll see you next time, and God bless you always.